There's a moment that almost everyone knows. You're sitting at your desk, the book is open, the laptop is ready, the gym clothes are on the chair, the task is clear. You know exactly what you're supposed to do. And yet, you don't start. You scroll. You rearrange your desk. You check one message. You promise yourself you'll begin in 5 minutes. 5 minutes turns into 30. 30 turns into guilt. Guilt turns into stress. And the task becomes heavier than it ever needed to be. This is procrastination. Not laziness, not lack of ambition, not lack of intelligence, just resistance to starting. And here's the truth most people never hear. The hardest part of any task is not doing it, it's beginning it. Today, I'm going to explain why your brain resists starting, and then I'll show you the 10-minute rule that instantly breaks that resistance. And not in theory, in a way you can use for studying, work, and even the gym. Let's start with what's really happening inside your head. Your brain is not designed for productivity. It is designed for survival and energy conservation. Thousands of years ago, wasting energy could mean death. So your brain evolved to avoid unnecessary effort. It constantly scans for threats and discomfort. When it detects something difficult, uncertain, or mentally demanding, it interprets it as a potential risk. Now think about modern tasks: studying for an exam, working on a difficult report, starting a business idea, going to the gym. To your brain, these tasks feel uncertain. They require effort, they don't offer immediate reward, and worst of all, they carry the possibility of failure. So your brain reacts with a protective mechanism: avoidance. When you think about starting a difficult task, your brain activates the same pain processing regions that respond to physical discomfort. That uneasy feeling you get when you think about beginning, that's not weakness. That's neurological resistance. And here's where it gets more interesting. Your brain also runs on dopamine, the motivation chemical. But dopamine isn't released when you finish something. It's released when you expect a reward. Scrolling your phone gives instant dopamine. Watching a video gives instant stimulation. Checking notifications gives instant novelty. Studying a chapter, writing a proposal, doing push-ups, delayed reward. So when you sit down to start something hard, your brain compares options. Hard task with delayed reward versus easy stimulation with instant reward, and it chooses the easier one. Not because you're incapable, because your brain prefers certainty and comfort. But here's the crucial insight: the resistance is strongest before you begin. Once you start, something changes. And this is where the 10-minute rule becomes powerful. The rule is simple: commit to doing the task for just 10 minutes. Not finishing it, not completing it perfectly, just 10 focused minutes. After 10 minutes, you are allowed to stop. That's it. It sounds almost too small to matter, but psychologically, it changes everything. Why? Because the brain doesn't fear effort as much as it fears uncertainty and long-term commitment. When you tell yourself, "I need to study for 3 hours," your brain reacts with panic. That feels overwhelming. It imagines discomfort stretching endlessly into the future. But when you say, just 10 minutes, the threat disappears. 10 minutes is manageable. 10 minutes is safe. 10 minutes doesn't feel like a life sentence. So your brain lowers its resistance. And here's what usually happens. You rarely stop at 10 minutes. Because once you start, a psychological principle called the Zeigarnik effect kicks in. Your brain dislikes unfinished tasks. Once engaged, it wants closure. Starting creates momentum. Momentum reduces resistance. Reduced resistance increases focus. The 10-minute rule isn't about time. It's about bypassing the starting barrier. Once you begin a task, 3 powerful things happen. First, clarity increases. Before starting, the task feels huge and undefined. After 5 to 10 minutes, it becomes concrete. You see what needs to be done. The fog disappears. Second, dopamine shifts. Progress itself becomes rewarding. Small wins release motivation chemicals. The brain transitions from avoidance to engagement. Third, identity changes. You stop being someone who is avoiding and become someone who is working. That mental shift is powerful. Procrastination thrives in inaction. Confidence grows in motion. The 10-minute rule forces motion. Studying is one of the most common areas of procrastination because it combines delayed reward, mental effort, and evaluation pressure. Here's how to apply the rule properly. Don't say, I will study biology. Say, I will review pages 10 to 12 for 10 minutes. Set a timer. During those 10 minutes, no phone, no multitasking, just the task. Your only job is to stay engaged until the timer ends. After 10 minutes, ask yourself honestly, do I stop or continue? Most of the time, continuing feels easier than stopping and restarting later. If you stop, that's okay. You still built consistency. You trained your brain to start when you said you would. Consistency is more important than intensity. If you repeat this daily, something subtle changes. Your brain stops associating studying with dread. It associates it with short, manageable effort. That rewiring is powerful. Work procrastination often comes from overwhelm. Large projects feel intimidating because they lack clear boundaries. Instead of saying, I need to finish this report, break it down. I will outline the introduction for 10 minutes. That's it. Open the document. Write anything. Imperfect is fine. Perfection is another reason your brain resists starting. It fears judgment. The 10-minute rule lowers expectations. You're not aiming for brilliance. You're aiming for engagement. Once you begin writing, thinking, or organizing, the mental friction drops. Many professionals notice something interesting. After starting, their best ideas come in the first 20 to 30 minutes. But those ideas never appear if they never begin. Starting triggers thinking. Thinking triggers clarity. Clarity triggers progress. The gym is emotional procrastination. It's not just effort, it's anticipation of discomfort. The trick here is slightly different. Don't commit to a full workout. Commit to put on gym clothes and move for 10 minutes. That's it. Drive there, walk on the treadmill, do a few sets. After 10 minutes, you can leave. But something fascinating happens with physical movement. Once your body warms up, energy increases. Motivation often follows action, not the other way around. On the rare days you still leave after 10 minutes, you still win. Because you reinforce the habit of showing up. And habit formation is more important than workout duration. Consistency builds identity. Identity builds discipline. The 10-minute rule works immediately because it removes 3 major barriers. 1. Overwhelm. 2. Fear of failure. 3. Long-term commitment anxiety. Your brain resists mountains, it accepts small steps. Most people try to defeat procrastination with motivation speeches. But motivation doesn't override biology, it fades. Systems override biology. The 10-minute rule is a system. It doesn't require feeling ready. It doesn't require inspiration. It only requires starting small. Every time you use the 10-minute rule, you send a message to your brain. When I decide to start, I start. That repetition rewires neural pathways. Instead of associating hard tasks with avoidance, your brain begins associating them with manageable action. Over weeks, the resistance shrinks. Starting becomes normal. And here's the transformation. Procrastination stops being your default reaction. Action becomes your default reaction. That's when everything changes. The 10-minute rule is not about productivity hacks, it's about identity change. You are no longer someone waiting to feel motivated. You are someone who begins despite feeling resistance. That shift alone separates high performers from everyone else. They don't have less resistance, they just start anyway, niche small. And once they start, momentum does the rest. Next time you feel that familiar resistance, the urge to delay, scroll, or postpone, don't argue with yourself. Don't wait for motivation, just say 10 minutes. Set the timer, begin. Because success rarely requires superhuman discipline. It requires winning the first 10 minutes. And once you master those first 10 minutes, you realize something powerful. You were never incapable. You were just waiting to start. If this message stayed with you, don't let it end here. Use it today, just once. Pick one thing you've been avoiding and give it 10 minutes. And if this video helped you take that first step, subscribe and stay with the channel. Every week we're going to make difficult things easier to start and easier to continue. I'll see you in the next one.